We are going to see the just introduction to the next chapter, that is the Delhi Sultan. The Delhi Sultans. In the second chapter, we studied about the kings of the South India, that is near to the Kaveri River area. And here we are going to see the North Indian side, that is the Delhi Sultan. And Delhi Sultanate, they are developed or start become the prominent one, important one, or Delhi become the important one, that is in the time of 12th century. And we can see the it is given the table in the textbook, that is table 1, and the rulers. This we have read once when we taken the first chapter, introduction chapter of history that time. And we can see the some of the Delhi kings, that one is the Rajput dynasty, then Turkish rulers, then Khalji dynasty, and Tughlaq dynasty, Sayed dynasty, and Lodi dynasty. These are the different kingdoms which developed in Delhi area, or Delhi and nearby areas. And the ruler, these are the rulers of Delhi. And we can see that one in 11 1165, 1165 means it is coming, we are starting from 12th century, and it is ending here in the table 1.1, table 1, it is ending with 1489 means 15th century. So we are going to see from 12th century to 15th century who was ruling here in Delhi. And the Delhi became the first capital of the kingdom under the Tamora Rajput and Rajput leader kings, and who were defeated the middle of the 12th century in the Chauhans, who was the kings of that area, or the Ajmer area, or Punjab, Rajasthan, and Delhi altogether, who was ruling, that Chauhans was ruling. And their Rajputs or defeated the Chauhans and taken the rule over them. And Tomras and Chauhans, that Delhi become the, because of them, because of their work, the Delhi become the important commercial center. It became the commercial center in 12th century. Then many rich Jaina merchants, they lived in the city and constructed several temples, and coins minted here and called Delhi Wall, Delhi Wall, and that was the coins they made. And especially Jain merchants was living there. And we know in where it is started in Rajasthan and Gujarat area, it is started Jainism, and they came and started to live here in here in um, where we can say Delhi, and that is becoming the commercial center because of the two kingdom was there, Chauhans and Rajput. And the transformation of Delhi into the capital that controlled vast areas of the subcontinent started with the foundation of Delhi Sultanate. When the Delhi Sultanate came that time, they made Delhi as the capital of themselves. Delhi Sultanate constructed Delhi, means started to call the Delhi as the capital of themselves. That is in the start beginning of the 13th century. And that we can see identify the five dynasties that together made the Delhi Sultanate. Not only one, all five dynasties together. One, two, three, four, five dynasties together. We can say like that. All together, they made the Delhi Sultanate. What we are going to study? We are going to study all these five or six dynasties in this chapter. And Delhi Sultans built many cities in the area that we now know. Delhi in Delhi means that time was, it was here and there scattered area, and they made one by one area, taken made the huge building. And here we can see one map. It is shown like that. Faridabad, now present it is there in Haryana. Faridabad, it present now, it is there in Haryana. Then Ja- uh, Tughlaqabad, the Adlibad, that is in Delhi itself. Then Delhi one, Khana, and like the different cities they are making the Siri, and Kutub Minar. That is like that. That is like the different areas they are formed. The different small cities or large cities they formed in Delhi, and that is now present. It is scattered here. Means that is comes under the different states. And Faridabad area it is under the this what we can say Haryana area, and Tughlakabad and Adlibad it is coming with UP, and like that different area we can see that one. And that is in the map, and locate the Delhi one Kuna, that Siri and Jahana Jahan Panah. These are the three places we want to locate in the map. Where is that? Siri, Janpana, and Delhi one. These are the major area they made. Their city, other areas are small cities they made. And finding about the Delhi Sultanate, how we are understanding about the Delhi Sultanate. First one inscription, second one from coins, third one from architecture providing the information, and lots of information, especially the valuable some of the histories we can see, and especially about the Tariq Dwarik, Tariq, that is the singular word, and Tawarik, that is the plural word. He's written that one of the um, uh, 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 history writer written in the Persian language about the Delhi Sultanate. He written about the Delhi Sultanate. That language they used, that Persian language, and that was the language of the administration. That was the Persian language was the administrative language of the Delhi Sultanate. In that particular language, he written. The author of that Tawarkish, that he learned men, secretaries, administrators, poets, countries who were both recounted events and advised rulers on governance, emphasizing the importance of the just rule. The author of this book, he what he done, he was a learned person, and he was in the Delhi Sultanates. We can see many secretaries was there, administrators was there, poets, countries like that, many people there was there to help to recounter the events, as well as the advise the king to do how to govern the country, as well as how to do the governance with the just rule. And like that many people was there. Now also we can see under the PM or CM, we have cabinet ministers and other ministers and MLAs, MPs, and other department secretaries, and like that different people they are all together, they are controlling the administration of the country. And here it is showing like that four stages of the preparation of the manuscript, how they was preparing the manuscript in olden days, and the four stages it is given that you can read. And here the circle of justice. Fakri Mudabir wrote in 13th century, a king cannot survive without soldier, and soldiers cannot live without salaries. Salaries comes from the revenue and collected from the peasants, means farmers. But peasants can pay revenue only when they are prosperous and happy. When they are getting enough crop, that time they will pay. And this happens when the king promote justice and honest governance in the country. So the king, if the king is just as well as honest to the people, then they will live peacefully and prosperously. That time they will pay tax to the king, and the king can give salary to the soldiers. Then soldiers will help the king. That is the one of the circle of the justice. If you are thinking about your family, if your father and mother they are showing justice to you people, if they are doing everything properly, you people will be happy. Then you will take care about your studies, and you after your study as you will study nicely, as the same time you will behave properly, and they will be very happy. And again they will give some gift to you, means some rewards to you. It may be good words or good or best like that things, or some clapping or some hug or like that something, again you will do your work properly, again you will get it. That circle, it will move again and again. Like that in the country we can see the circle of justice. And keeping the following additional details in the mind, the authors of Tawarik lived in the cities, mainly in Delhi, and hardly ever in the villages. They lived in the cities. Many writers were in the those who helped to write that book. They was living in the cities, and they often brought their histories of the sultans into hope of a rich reward. The writers, the authors, they want to get maximum reward. For that purpose, they written the books. So what will happen? They will highlight the events related to king's life. The next one, these authors advise rulers no need of the to preserve an ideal social order based on the birthright or the gender distinction. They are given the idea like that, should not keep the social order that is not on based on the birthright or the gender distinction. So the others, they given that advice to the king. And what will happen, their ideas were not shared by everybody. What all things, they are having many ideas. Very rarely when they are feeling like that, they will get reward from the king. That time they will give the reward was the main thing for them. So they, according to that, they was making their ideas, they're forming their ideas, they're writing their books. So these three things you want to keep in your mind when you are reading the coming lessons, or whenever you are reading the history books, you want to understand the basic nature of that author. So once again, the writers, they was living in the cities, not in the villages. Second one, they written for the reward. They said like that, they said like that, we want to keep the ideals social order on the base of birthright as well as gender. So the ladies should not get rights like that. They was giving idea to the kings. So the ladies, even now also we can see ladies, they are getting very less priority here in India. Then according to birthright, we know the Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, like that things already we studied in 6th standard. According to that, the kings was keeping the position of the people. Then in 1236, Sultan Iltutmish's daughter Razia became the Sultan, one of the lady Sultan, that is the Razia, and she was the daughter of Sultan Iltutmish. And when she became the king, 1236. And chronicles of the age, Minhaj Siraj, he recognized that she was the more able and qualified than her brothers. Who was writing the chronicler means the person who is writing day-to-day activities of the palace or the king, and that person understood that the Razia is the most prominent person or able person to, or as well as qualified than her brothers. But he was not comfortable at having the queen as the ruler. That was the condition, because we already, the authors, they given the idea like that, according to the birthright or gender distinction, they want to do the ruling. So the chronicler not felt like that happy with the queen as the ruler. And now were the nobles happy at her attempt to rule independently? And the nobles also, those who are helping the semindars or the ministers, they are also not happy with the attempt, her attempt, because she tried to work independently. She was removed from throne, that is in 1240. After 4 years, she lost her rule. So by this we are stopping today, and you can do your homework as well as worksheet. Thank you. Have a nice day.